Hey, it's Professor Gould, and as we continue our discussion of chemistry, we're going to talk about other elements that are really, really important biologically. Now, we already talked about the four most important ones. You absolutely positively know these, must know these: oxygen, carbon, hydrogen, and nitrogen. Their symbols are really simple, it's just the first letter. And 96% of your body is made up of these four elements in other molecules in your body. There are 7 others that are important to have in small amounts. Calcium, you know that one's for bones, right? Phosphorus, potassium, sulfur, sodium, chlorine, and magnesium. You absolutely have to have these, and you need to get them from your food. Your body can't make them. These are elements that you have to bring in so that your body can operate normally. We have another group of elements that are called trace elements. And the important thing here is to think about dosage. Okay? This is one thing that people get really confused on because they think, oh my gosh, this thing is toxic. For example, copper. Copper is a trace element. You have to have tiny amounts of copper in your body, but you can be poisoned by too much copper. So nothing is going to kill you in teensy tiny, there is nothing that will absolutely positively kill you, okay? There are things that will kill you in small amounts. There are things that will kill you in larger amounts. So none of these things are necessarily good or bad. Just because they exist doesn't mean they're good or bad. These trace elements in particular can be extremely damaging to the body if they are in large amounts, but your body has to have them in very small amounts. So one of the things I'm going to talk about occasionally is people who oppose vaccines. Vaccines are built to harness the power of your immune system to protect you against pathogens that could make you sick. Because they need to be preserved before they can be put in your body, they contain some chemicals. Remember, chemicals are just elements. Some chemicals that sound really scary, that have things like selenium and molybdenum. And people who oppose vaccines say that these things are toxic and will cause brain damage, for example. But remember that, first of all, your body needs trace amounts of these, and second of all, they're only damaging in large amounts. The amounts in vaccines are safe. Yes, doesn't matter how many vaccines you get, you're never going to get enough for it to be toxic to your body. All right, so there are only a few of these that I actually want you to know, okay? The first 4, obviously, and then these next ones. All right. Calcium and phosphorus. Phosphorus, the chemical symbol is P, okay? And its most common form in nature is in phosphate. Phosphate, PO4, is a really important ion. Calcium and phosphorus are required to make bones. They make this big molecule called hydroxyapatite. You don't need to know the name of that molecule, but there it is. Which is 10 calciums. They're shown here. This is the molecule of hydroxyapatite. The calciums are white. Then we have 6 phosphate groups, 6 of this phosphorus with 4 oxygens on the phosphorus, and then 2 hydroxide groups, okay? And that makes the hydroxyapatite molecule, which is what the mineral part, the hard part of your bone, is actually made out of. The rest of your bone is living. There are cells and blood vessels and nerves in your bones, which also super creepy. Anyway, calcium you get in green leafy vegetables, milk, sardines. Sardines are important because you actually eat the whole sardine and the bones are small enough that you can break them down and get the calcium out of them. So this is a milk carton saying to a bone, hey, listen to me, I'm what's good for you. Because you can get a lot of calcium from milk. If you are lactose intolerant, then you should not drink milk because it'll make your intestines really upset, and it'll do bad things for everyone around you. So if you are lactose intolerant, please don't get your calcium from milk. Get it from green leafy vegetables. If you're not lactose intolerant and you like milk, then drink milk. It's a good source of calcium. And some people will tell you that adults shouldn't drink milk because we're not evolved for that. But if you're lactose tolerant, you did evolve for that. So go ahead and drink milk. Have ice cream. Eat cheese. They're good. Phosphorus is found in chicken, beef, asparagus, carrots, berries, lots of foods like that. So essentially make sure that you eat real foods, eat lots of different colors of real foods, and you will get the elements that you need. All right, so that's calcium and phosphorus. Those are the first two that you need to know. Next up, iodine. Iodine is vital to the functioning of a gland that you may never have heard of, which is called your thyroid gland. It wraps around your trachea, okay, just below your Adam's apple. This little bump right there, that's your Adam's apple. And the thyroid makes hormones that control your metabolism. Remember, your metabolism is your cells taking in energy and using that energy to power processes within the cell. Iodine is used to make thyroid hormone. Thyroid hormone is distributed through your bloodstream to all of the cells in your body to tell those cells how much stuff they should be doing. If you don't make enough thyroid hormone, then you will have a slower metabolism. You will also have dry skin, dry hair, potentially depression if it's untreated. It's really easy to restore the proper level of thyroid hormones with a very inexpensive synthetic thyroid hormone. And it's a really easy thing to treat. If this sounds like you, go get a test. It's a cheap test. It's a cheap medicine so far. If you have an enlarged thyroid because your thyroid is working too hard, then that's called a goiter. That says there's something wrong with your thyroid. But most thyroid malfunction doesn't cause a goiter. And goiters are very, very rare in the industrialized world because we added iodine to table salt. Iodized table salt is an ionized form of iodine that was added to table salt. Makes sure that everyone gets enough iodine in their diet. If you're thinking, I never use table salt, am I not getting enough iodine? You're probably getting enough iodine in processed foods and incidental table salt that you're fine. So this is one way that we added an element to the food supply and ended what was once a fairly common mineral deficiency. So the fact that you don't know what a goiter is a good thing. Kind of cool, right? Okay, so that's iodine, vital for your thyroid. Fluorine is added to toothpaste and the water supply as fluoride, and fluoride is necessary to harden teeth and bones. It is not harmful except in large amounts. Again, dosage is vital here. Now, for babies, they should not drink fluoridized tap water because their bodies are so small that the amount of fluoride in tap water can be dangerous. It's not going to harm them in any significant way except leave white spots on their teeth because as they're developing, they get extra fluoride and it leaves little white spots. It actually overdevelops the teeth. If you are an adult, you are not going to get too much fluoride from tap water. Fluoride in tap water is absolutely harmless, despite what conspiracy theories you may have heard. You can, however, make yourself sick, as a friend of mine did when he decided that if the fluoride in toothpaste was good, then extra fluoride was better. Okay, remember dosage. Dosage is important. Don't forget, dosage is important. This guy did. And so what he decided was that to really strengthen his teeth, what he was going to do was brush his teeth at night and then not spit and rinse. He was just going to leave the toothpaste on his teeth all night. He started getting really, really sick. And his doctor said, yeah, you're poisoning yourself with fluoride. Stop doing that. So just go back to using your toothpaste normally and you will get the right dose of fluoride. Dosage is important, people. All right, the other one that's important, iron. Iron is part of a molecule called hemoglobin, which is the molecule within your red blood cells that actually binds to oxygen. So hemoglobin is a big protein molecule, shown here. In the middle of each of these parts of the protein molecule, there is another molecule called heme. And in the middle of heme, there is an iron ion. Fe is iron. Fe2+ is this ion. And this iron ion is what the oxygen actually binds to. So each hemoglobin molecule can carry 4 oxygen molecules because that's what the iron ion binds to, the oxygen molecule. All right, so if you don't get enough iron in your diet, then your blood won't have enough hemoglobin and you won't be able to carry enough oxygen. You're going to be cold, you're going to be weak, you're going to have shortness of breath. Just get more iron in your diet. Iron is found in meats and beans and nuts. You can get enough iron if you have a vegetarian diet, but you just need to be very careful to eat lots of beans and nuts to get enough protein and iron. Iron is added to breakfast cereal so that children get enough iron. It is very common for women, especially menstruating women, to not get enough iron or to not have enough iron, to be slightly anemic. Anemic is what we call you if you don't have enough iron in your blood. You can take an iron supplement, and one of the problems with an iron supplement is that it causes constipation and really black sticky poop. It's really gross. So if you're afraid you're anemic, or if you know you're anemic and you want to increase the amount of iron in your blood, you can take an iron supplement, take it with a vitamin C tablet. The vitamin C helps your body absorb the iron and loosens up your bowels so that you don't get the iron constipation, okay? Trust me on this one, it's a system that works. Iron supplement with vitamin C at night before you go to bed. Trust me on this one. All right, so fluoride, fluorine is the element, fluoride is the ion. For teeth, iron for blood. All right, so those are the important elements you need to know. The first 4, carbon, oxygen, nitrogen, hydrogen, and then iron, fluorine, iodine, calcium, and phosphorus. And that is the end of that section.